Hello everybody, it's Emery48 here and welcome back to another Star Wars video. Today we are going over Lords of the Sith by Paul S. Kemp, which is in the Canon Timeline at 14 BBY, 1 year after the start of Thrawn, same year as the short story Orientation, and 8 years after the Clone Wars. I bought this book for $10 on Apple Books. The Free Ryloth movement is being led by Cham Syndulla. They plan to take a strike against the Empire, Emperor Palpatine, and Darth Vader. Now, one big thing that I will say about Star Wars books in general is when the characters are Palpatine, Vader, someone like Cham Syndulla, who we see in Rebels, and I believe Andor or The Mandalorian, or Ahsoka, one of those live action ones. It's a less tense book because I know the outcome of the tense situations is survival. With that said, we move forward into Chapter 1. Darth Vader is aboard the Perilous, captained by Luit, who informed Vader of an incident at Yaga Minor shipyards. Cham and Isval, two Twi'lek fighters for the Free Ryloth movement, had been waiting for Pak to arrive with the stolen Imperial weapons shuttle. He was followed into the system by Imperial ships, which included Vader. Cham's ship watched from a hidden position as the Imperial ships were winning the battle with Pak's ship. Vader ejected from his fighter, sending it into the transport. Vader then boarded the transport, killing the first freedom fighter he saw, speaking through the dead Twi'lek's comm that he was coming for them. Chapter 2. Cham, Isval, and their bridge listened to Pak's bridge while they fought and died to Vader, who taunted them through the comm after the massacre. Cham ordered the ship to hide until the Empire departed the system. Vader returned to Palpatine on Coruscant, meeting with Senator Ornfree Taw. They will travel to Ryloth to investigate where the traitor is amongst Taw's staff, and also investigate the effectiveness of Moff Mors, in charge of Ryloth for the Empire. Vader had been on Ryloth during the Clone Wars when he was Anakin Skywalker. Chapter 3. Cham and Isval have been given information that Palpatine, Vader, and Taw are headed for Ryloth and want to start planning an attack, but are wary of a trap. Colonel Belcor met with Moff Mors. She was high and in a meeting with Nashi the Hutt, a representative from Jabba, when Belcor arrived. Mors is living in luxury on the moon of Ryloth, while Belcor actually handles the planet. Mors informed Belcor of the failed transport heist and Taw's visit to Ryloth coming up. Belcor has been feeding information to Cham to make Mors look bad, hoping he will get promoted to Moff in her place. Belcor headed for the rendezvous point for a meeting with Cham. Chapter 4. Cham has blackmailed Belcor into helping with the assassination of Taw. There was a 30-minute conversation, not fully detailed. It is unclear if Cham informed Belcor of Palpatine and Vader joining Taw to Ryloth. Cham and Isval discussed the meeting, revealing that Vader and Palpatine were not mentioned at all. The movement is beginning to prepare. Isval went to the hot spot for Imperials to pick up slave prostitutes, taking Rian away from the Imperial. But Rian asked for the Imperial to not die. Isval set Rian up with an apartment paid for the next year, food, and credits. Isval then returned to the Imperial, still laying on the ground, and beat him beyond unconsciousness, but still alive. Chapter 5. The Perilous has arrived in the Ryloth system, and Cham watched the attack from one of the Free Ryloth movement bases. Vader is heading to his fighter, ready to join the battle. When Vader finally launched, the rebels had the upper hand, with the Perilous' shields at 16%. Chapter 6. Just after the fighters launched, the Perilous' shields went down. Vader has returned to the Perilous after he and the fighters won the space battle, but the Perilous has sustained a large amount of damage. Cham called Belcor, telling him to order all repair ships, Imperial and civilian, to head for the Perilous. The civilian repair ships include rebels. Mors contacted Belcor, informing him Vader and Palpatine are on the ship. Cham called again, and Belcor made his displeasure known at being deceived about Vader and Palpatine's presence. Chapter 7. Isval and her team have arrived on the Perilous, killing a lieutenant and being confronted by 4 stormtroopers outside of the hyperdrives. Her team includes Eshko, Drim, Phelan, and Krost. Vader returned to the bridge, choking Ta for a short time. The Empire have restricted Ta's staff to their quarters, suspecting a traitor among them. Chapter 8. Isval and her team killed the 4 stormtroopers and headed into the hyperdrive. 2 other repair teams from Ryloth set off explosions. Vader ordered all non-Imperial repair teams to be killed, which totaled 100 teams, mostly of 5 people each. The Emperor echoed the sentiment, and the order was given. Isval's crew killed the Imperial technicians working on the hyperdrive. Vader and stormtroopers killed 2 repair teams, one that was innocent and one of rebels. He has been informed about the stormtroopers dead outside the hyperdrive and is headed that way. Isval's team placed the explosives and timers at the hyperdrive. It will detonate in 42 minutes. They left through the only other doorway as Vader began cutting through the one they came in with his lightsaber. Vader found the explosives once he made it into the hyperdrive, knowing they cannot be disarmed. He ordered the Perilous to evacuate the ship. Isval's team made it to a ship they could escape in. Vader spotted them as they were about to enter it. Chapter 9. Isval and her crew were barely able to board and lift off before Vader reached the ship. Vader has regrouped with the Emperor at his shuttle. They, like most on board, have left the Perilous. Cham asked Belcor for the ident code for the Emperor's shuttle. Belcor gave him that and the ident for Morse's shuttle, saying that Vader and Palpatine may have split one on each of those shuttles. The Perilous has exploded. Isval has the ident codes for the 2 ships. Belcor has told Morse's pilot to escort Palpatine's, moving them closer together. Chapter 10. Isval shot down Morse's ship, but did not destroy it. Vader took over piloting the Emperor's shuttle once it became under fire. As the 2 ships passed, Vader force-choked Isval and Eshko. Isval attempted to collide with the shuttle, knowing she is going to die, but wants to take Vader with her. The shuttles did collide. Vader guided the ship through a crash landing. Only Vader, the Emperor, and 3 royal guards survived. They are now alone on the surface of Ryloth. Chapter 11. Phelan and Isval survived a crash landing of their own. Eshko, Drim, and Krost died. Cham and Isval have coordinated the start of a search for the crash zone for Vader's shuttle, to confirm whether or not Vader and the Emperor survived. Belcor is going to search for Morse's shuttle and signs of life there. Cham and Isval, with help from Belcor, plan to heavily limit communications across Ryloth, isolating Vader and Palpatine to the area around their crash site, which they are still searching for. Chapter 12. Norden found a crashed Imperial shuttle in the search area for the Emperor's shuttle. He informed Isval. Isval and Phelan took out an Imperial base while Callan hacked a satellite, effectively wiping out most communication on the planet, especially any long-distance communication. 2 rebel ships fired upon Vader and Palpatine, who took out 1 ship each. 1 royal guard was killed, leaving 2 remaining. Morse survived the attack, but her pilot did not. She went to the base Isval attacked, telling Major Steen Borkus that Belcor is the traitor. He has the same coordinates the rebels have for Vader's location. Steen and Morse are gearing up with some stormtroopers to recover the Emperor and Vader. Chapter 13. Isval has reunited with Cham, picking up Gul and more fighters. Finding Norden's wreckage, 4 of the rebels died to fierce predators in the area of the crash site. Palpatine reminded Vader of his Jedi past and traitorous path he took not long ago. Chapter 14. Vader, Palpatine, and the royal guards were chased by Ryloth's predators to their hive-like home in the caves. Chapter 15. Callan found the Emperor's crash site. Cham, Isval, Callan, and Gul have begun investigating the crash site, hoping to track Vader. Belcor found the rebels searching the crash site. He killed his pilot to keep Cham in the clear, working together to find the Emperor and Morse. Gol is leading the rebel group, tracking the path made by Vader and the Emperor. Chapter 16. Vader and Palpatine have killed hundreds of the Predators. The Queen of the Cave Hive approach them. The rebels followed the trail to the collapsed tunnel entrance, not wanting to go into the Hive from a different entrance as it would be too dangerous. Vader and Palpatine killed the Queen and the rest of the Predators, annihilating the Hive. One more Royal Guard died, leaving Sergeant Dees as the final surviving Royal Guard. They left the cave system and are back on Ryloth's surface. Vader and Palpatine had to use the Force to break out of the cave system. Callan picked up an explosion, and the rebels are headed to that location. The Emperor's group was found by Drua, a girl from her village nearby. Palpatine went to kill her, but Vader stopped him. She is bringing them to her village, very remote, with only 37 people. The rebels investigated the cave exit and are back on the trail of the Emperor's group. The Emperor, Vader, and Dees arrived at the village. They were not recognized. Palpatine introduced him and Vader as Krata and Urluk, which are ancient Sith words meaning death and fate. The rebels know one of the Royal Guards have died and was replaced by likely an adolescent Twi'lek. They were able to tell this by the difference in the tracks since finding the trail again after they left the caves. Chapter 17. Palpatine told Vader he assured the villagers would die when he saved Drua. The rebels found the Emperor and Vader in the small village, engaged in a welcoming celebration. Morris has turned one of Belcor's V-Wing pilots back onto her side, isolating Belcor from his Imperial allies. Gol's men are preparing to attack Vader and Palpatine when the village goes to sleep. Callan is going to start the retreat of all other rebels not involved in this attack. Belcor is going insane. He does not just want to kill Vader and Palpatine, but also Cham and his rebel group. Communications are back, and Dees has sent a message to Mors. She has received the Emperor's coordinates and is on her way. Belcor found the village, calling on the V-Wings to bomb it. Belcor taunts Cham, alerting him to the communications repair. Chapter 18. Cham had planned an attack on Palpatine and Vader that would keep the villagers safe, but the sound of V-Wings became present, and Belcor taunted Cham again. Mors alerts Belcor she has joined the V-Wings. Gaul's men fire warning shots, sending the villagers to flee to the safe spot in the mines. Palpatine told Vader he would have to fight this alone because he cannot use powers in front of this many witnesses. The villagers are all out of the village, leaving Palpatine, Vader, and Dees alone in the village. Mors had one of the V-Wings shoot Belcor out of the sky, killing him and silencing him from all of Mors' uselessness over the last few years. Cham, Isval, and Gaul saw Belcor's ship blow up. Mors landed with 20 stormtroopers, trapping Gaul's troops. The V-Wings and Vader attacked Cham, Isval, and Gaul. Gaul grabbed Cham, pulling him away from the brunt of the attack. Vader killed Isval. Gaul and Phelan got Cham off the ground. He is determined to keep up the fight against the Empire. Isval survived the Force choke. When she woke, Palpatine taunted her and the Free Ryloth movement. Then Vader actually killed her with his lightsaber. Now that all was finished in the village, Palpatine sent Vader to kill all of the villagers in their hiding place. That is all I have for Lords of the Sith. It was a good book. I do have that issue of all the main characters being characters that we know survive beyond the book. It makes it a lot less tense and makes the big moments in the book a lot less epic. But overall, it was a good story. Hearing what is going on between the dichotomy of Palpatine and Vader between the Clone Wars and A New Hope is a very interesting and intriguing concept. So this kind of book is something that I do enjoy. Interesting to not even involve the Death Star at all, even in subtle conversation. But overall, I did enjoy the book. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Thank you everybody so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.